Welcome to Buckman's Model Mania. Today we're going to be working on stages 30, 31, and 32 of the E.T. the Extra-Terrestrial from Fanhome. 30 is actually the biggest part we've gotten so far. It is the base. So let me go ahead and get the book open. And 31 I'm kind of impressed with because it shows wall wart power. This will be, in my experience, the first part work that has a power supply, an external power supply that goes to the wall rather than batteries, which is much better because that's what I always do with mine anyway. So in here we've got the base, got some screws, and that's odd. It looks like a part for a battery box. I may have spoken too soon. Double battery terminal. Interesting. And I see spots for batteries in the base. I was hoping not to have to rewire. Yep. Look at that right there. There are 6 slots for 6 AA's, which means that this thing is going to be probably operating at 9 volts. Maybe that's spare power. I'm not sure. So the first thing it has you do is put that part in. Let's get this set of screws in there. Put this battery terminal in. Over here like this. You just push it down in there, just like that. There's another one already in place over here, but it has a plug on it. Next thing they have you do is turn it over and grab the legs. Grab them. I actually have set the torso up on top of the legs. So we'll grab the legs. And just looking how this is going to go on here. I don't think there's a front and a back. It does not look like there's a front and the back. So we're going to take the legs. We're going to set them on here. And so E.T. is going to be the first figure, part work figure, that I build that does not have, that is not freestanding. Not a big deal, not a bad thing, I don't think. Looks like the base is a little bit front heavy. And so we have 8 screws going in here. Let's see, they are, let's say PM. They're going into plastic. I just wanted to make sure before I skip the oil. Are they going into plastic though? Either way, that went in there really nicely. Go ahead and peel this tape out of here because this tape is going across one of the screw holes. So there's 2 in there. They're not all the way in yet. There's 3. Number 4. This is one of those times that you wish you had a electric screwdriver, but on most things on Partworks, if you use an electric screwdriver, you're going to over torque, or you're going to come off of the screw and scratch the part work up. Got a piece of tape still on my finger. I got rid of it. Nope, it didn't. It's still on my finger right there. I think I got rid of it. Well, I'll eventually find it again. Probably hanging on my pants or something like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and tighten these back down. And with the number of, or tighten them back down, tighten them down. With the numbers, but with the number of screws that are in this, I'm thinking he might have a little bit of heft to him because they don't want him to fall over. So there's 6, but we shall see later on. I know that the base keeps wanting to fall over because it's front heavy. This is kind of interesting too. There's a couple of lugs here with nothing on them, no indications of what it is. Let's double check the book and make sure. Yes, that is all there is to do in stage 30. So let's turn this over. That's looking through the stages. I think that actually goes down into that foot. Looking, we can now look at him, turn him over. Make sure I didn't get any grease because that's from the grease earlier. Turn him over and we've got the base start. We got the base started. So in stage 31, we're going to turn it back over because we have the wiring. Let's get the wiring out. That's stage 32. In stage 31, let's slide this back a little bit. We have the following parts. And there's a sensor, so I'm thinking that he will, like the alien, will move based on what you do around him. So this is the sensor. Got a 3-pin plug on one end, and there's the sensor itself. Got the sensor, we have the DC jack, we have the switch, and we have 2 screws. Let's go ahead and get the screws out. And it's showing, that's what those pencil lines. It says with a fine tip marker, right B on the base platform cable, mark S on the switch, and A on the DC connector. So let's turn this over. Instead of using a fine tip marker, let me get my label maker. So we need a B, S, I think that was it, yeah, S. And an A. Set the label maker off to the side. Before we do any of this, let's just make sure. Okay, shouldn't need to do anything with this one, so I can go ahead and put this on here. And the reason I'm double checking is the A, the power one, you have to take the nut off. save it for the next step. Okay, so we're going to put B on here rather than trying to write it on the JST connector. This to me seems like a smarter idea. We'll go ahead and remove this nut. Don't think there'll be any problem getting it, the nut back over this, so I'm going to go ahead and label it. We'll go ahead and put that all the way down here towards the end, towards the JST connector itself, because that's where I'm going to need it. Unlike, this is unlike some part works where they provide you little flags to put on there. And where do they want the S? The S they want down here on the JST connector, down by the... Oh, not on that one, on this one. I almost put the label on the wrong one. And that's because each of these is a 2-wire connector rather than the sensor is a 3-wire connector. That's pretty obvious which one that is. So now the first thing they want you to do is to slide right here through this hole, this connector. Slide it through there, move this over here, all the way, just like that. And that is actually in the back, which is a good thing. Through the whole side of the base plate, then place the nut onto the cable, tighten it onto the back of the DC jack, securing it to the platform. So this, they're doing this for me, because otherwise I have these connectors and I would sort out how I would have to do that. Just making sure it's tight. Can still turn, but it's tight enough. So next thing they want is the switch to go in there, and hang on just a second. I'll be right back. I'm back. Just had a quick chat with my dog about just barking for the sake of barking. Okay, so this is going to go through here. And before I put this in there, you can see there are 2 parts on the that protrude from the out or to the outside. Those are actually going to hold the switch in place. Once you push it in there, it's going to snap in place. You heard that popping. So now the switch is in place right next to the power connector. And it shows on and off. And it, interesting. Just double checking. That is the first time they give us screws and we don't use them right away. And with the fact that they don't give you extra screws, that could be bad if they weren't shipping it the way they were. If this was going to be sitting here for a month, it would be bad. I'd be a little bit upset because I'd have the screws loose and possibly lose them. But let's go ahead and continue on to stage 32. Excuse me. And there are actually more screws in stage 32 as well. So let's open this. See, these are PTPCs. Just curious if they're the same type of screw. These are PTP screws. I think they're the screws from last stage are longer than they are for this stage. So in here we have the battery door, a ton of screws, and these covers for holding the wire harnesses in place. What do they call them? They call them cable clips. So first thing they want you to do is take the sensor that we left out last time, and that, or not last time, but on the last issue, that's where these screws from the last issue go. This part is going to go up. This is not the sensor here. This is right here on the top. It's going to go in here like this. And you're going to take a screw, put it in place, holding the sensor holding the sensor into that spot. Go ahead and get the second one started. I'm going to turn this on its side so I can get a better angle on those screws. Tighten them all the way down. So that harness is now being held in place. And there's the sensor on the outside. Then they want you to take this cable, run it over here, and up through the leg. A little bit. See if I can get it to go in there. Because it was twisted in the box, or twisted in the pack to make it a little bit smaller. It's a little bit twisted to where it doesn't go straight through. You got to kind of work with it, which is kind of funny because no reason for it to be twisted up into a little pack when they have the parts coming in this big box. We're going to put it like this, and then like this, route it through between those lugs, and it comes out here just like that. Turn a page, and it says to take 2 of these along with 4 of the screws and lock that down in place. And actually, I'm pretty impressed. Most of the times when we have these cable holders, they're really flimsy and they're not going to actually do much of anything. These actually have inset spots in them so that those lugs will fit inside. Need to make sure, am I doing it the right way? Yeah. The lugs fit down inside of it, which makes it hold a lot better. Matter of fact, if I lost the screws here, wouldn't be a big deal. I could glue these on. Never be able to get the harness back out though. So tighten this one down. And this one. Lift it up because I don't want rub marks on the base. Let's just make sure nothing on it yet right now. I will put it on top of the book. And this one is a little bit smaller area to get it into. Grab one of the screws, push this down to where I can actually start the screw in place. Do the second one, lock it in place, tighten them both down. And I do have the harness is, it's not pinched. I was going to say I think the harness is pinched, but it's not because of the way the harness comes up through there. And that's why I hadn't put it on it upside down like this to do the other screw. But it comes out here And this is the high point on here, so it is not getting pinched. Next thing they want you to do is to take these two harnesses, just looking, actually these three, we're going to take all three of these and we're going to first route them through here, like this. Let's go ahead and put the red wire underneath there. And this is something to be careful of. You do not want to put a screw through one of the wires. I've done that before and it kind of ruins your day. I've got a light on the Ecto-1 that does not work, and I'm sure that's because I put a screw through a wire. I'm not going to take the Ecto-1 apart to fix that. I'm just going to let it go the way it is. Once these are tightened, I'm going to make sure that they are still able to move. So you got this one. None of them are pinched. And if you look, they planned out this harness right, because this goes further, but it's still in place. It's still even. So then the next one we're going to put over here. I'm just looking. I don't think it really matters where the wires end up at this point. It's kind of different because they show these two over here and the S over here. Don't think it matters, but I'll put it the way they have it just in case it does. Push this down, put the first screw in, and I'm going to go ahead and tighten it all the way down just because it'll hold it completely. And honestly, it only needs that one screw. Most other part works on these tabs only have one screw in there, and the tabs are nothing compared to these. They're really thin, flimsy, and you can bend them. These are solid plastic. Let's see, that's got that. These are routed. This is routed. Turn it back over. The last thing they want you to do is to put this battery door in. I really, really wish they had put the battery door somewhere else. Don't like that right there. Maybe they'll do something to disguise it. I don't think so, but you've got the battery door from there then forever. And just to give us an idea, so we've got the legs. This is the torso. So there's the torso. And let me grab the head. The head is going to go, head's got to be a little bit higher up here. Go ahead and lay this on the back. I'm sure the head's going to be at least that high. And then there's going to be the piece that will extend the neck. I just popped a piece loose here. Not a big deal. This part right here, it is for the wiring harness, I'm sure. That's probably the wires. And the neck part will go back here. Or it could go the other way around. But let me put that in there. I haven't seen his face in a little while. But that, my friends, is all there is to do in stages 30 through 32. I'll go ahead and set him back in the box so he does not get damaged. I still have the plastic that his face originally came in. I kind of like keeping his head in there. Like I said, my friends, that is all there is to do in this stage, or in these stages. We're getting a little bit more substantial. I'm going to have to find a new spot to put him, because this, I don't think, will fit into the box that I've been storing him in. It's just me. I think this is actually slightly off center. Not positive. But like I said, that's all there is to do in this stage. I hope you're enjoying this build. I'm really happy with it. There's been like one thing I've seen so far that the engineering on it was a little bit hokey, not that good, but that's okay. It's head and shoulders above most part works. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, and hit the bell icon to be notified of any time I post new content. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Have a great day. Have a great day tomorrow. And I will see you in the next video.